5 minutes past 8. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, we turn our attention now to matters, proceedings, if you will, from the ongoing national conference. Mr. Bisi Adegbuyi joins us now. He's a delegate at that conference. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I mean, there was a time that this voting pattern just was all over the place. What would the voting pattern be? They even thought about getting memoranda from the public. But how did that go eventually?
Well, the conference decided that in order to further confer legitimacy on the process, it's important to ask for memoranda from members of the public. I'm regard to the fact that the issues touching, concerning and regarding sovereignty has been put to rest by no less a person than Mr. President. People who are contesting sovereignty with Nigerian people now know that the ultimate custodian of sovereignty in any political society are the people.
So how they go to see?
Therefore, okay, you need to go back to them, ask them, what do you want done? They will come in by way of memoranda, and then we'll have to look at it and, you know,
but people will still preside over the memoranda and then adopt it, put it in a document and present to the conference.
The secretariat.
How do we prevent that kind of scenario where our members in the National Assembly tell us we're consulting with our people, and at the end of the day, you get some leader saying, no, this was not what the people agreed. How do we prevent that kind of scenario in this circumstance?
I don't think we have any mechanism to do that. We would just hope that truly genuine people who want change, who want Nigeria to be rejigged, to be reworked, would assist us, because time is going and it's very much against us. We cannot afford to have Nigeria run on the basis of the structures of government we have now. The primary responsibility of any government is the protection of lives and property. And you will agree with me that the state of insecurity in Nigeria is frightening. And therefore we must quickly do something.
There are some who would argue that asking for memoranda from the public is going to be taking out of the time that you do not have. You have 3 months to finish deliberating on a lot of issues, and now you're going to ask for memoranda from the public. Then you sit down to look at it, analyze it, and put it together, as Chamberlain said, in a document, and bring back to the Secretariat, then bring it up for discussion. How long would that take?
I don't agree with that opinion that's going to waste a lot of time. The uses are clear, as far as I'm concerned. What kind of government do you want to run? Do you want to continue with a government that will spend 72% of its money on the current expenditure? Do you want to continue to have over-centralization of government when the component units that are closer to the people are asking for more funds in order to develop?
But if the issues are clear,
do you still want to continue with the presidential system of government?
If the issues are so clear, why then do you want to ask for a memoranda?
You must see the legitimacy of the people. They are the owners of the process. And don't forget that members or delegates at the ongoing national conference have not been elected. They are nominated. So there's a crisis of legitimacy. It is not something that cannot be cured. It's a curable defect, in my view. One would have preferred a situation where the delegates will be elected so that you know that you have the mandate of your people. But having regard to the circumstances, we have not been able to do that. But there's a window of opportunity for you to cure that defect by asking members of the public to come up with memoranda and then taking whatever resolutions you have come up with back to the people for them to fix their, what we call, imprimatur. Once you do that, you have what we call autochthonous constitution. A constitution that people can say, oh, this is truly ours because we have an input, we have been involved in the process. It's been people driven. You know how many times I've said that here? And it gladdens my heart that we are inching towards it. And finally, we must say this. Don't take the people for granted. They are the sovereigns. And again, the issue of whether it should be a sovereign national conference or not is being taken care of one way or the other. Because if you take your resolutions to the people, and by majority or the preponderance of yes votes over no votes, they say yes to that process, then nobody, no institution, no power should have any right whatsoever to tinker what the people have accepted. That makes it inviolable. That is where the sovereignty aspect of it comes in.
You know, I mean, you've always talked about a national conference. I mean, that's something I know that every time we've been on this program, you have talked about it. And finally, it's happening. It's like a dream come true.
Well, I have to thank the governor of Ogun State, who has given me the opportunity to walk my talk. If I've not been nominated, I'll just be coming here to say sovereign national conference. But here is an opportunity for me, in conjunction with people who think alike, people who want a paradigm shift in new Nigeria.
What has your experience been like? Because sometimes I'm looking at that hall, that big hall with lots of people, 492 delegates in all, minus the secretariat, and I'm wondering, my God, how is the decision going to be arrived at here?
At the plenary, you have 492 people. I mean, it's difficult to manage such an unwieldy. Remember, I've said it here repeatedly, the people that laid the foundation for America's greatness were less than 70. Half of them lawyers at the 1787 Philadelphia Convention. But that's not a problem, because at the committee stage, people who would drive the process would take charge, as opposed to the marketplace where you have everybody, you know. I don't have any fear whatsoever that something good will come out of this. I'm quite optimistic, because we don't even have any option. The science, the prognosis is scary. We can't continue like this.
How would you describe the energy there? Because, I mean, there's also been criticism as to the number of elderly people that are in that place, and, you know, how it's skewed in favor of those who have ruined Nigeria, so to speak, being paid to reconstruct the country. I mean, what do you make of that?
I unhesitatingly subscribe to that position that people who are part of the problems should not be invited to come and find solutions to problems they created. We must get new people to sort out Nigeria. Well, it's a baggage of some sort. And I believe that the new blood that are involved now would seize the moment and then don't allow the old people that have brought us to our knees to seize the initiative. And there's a groundswell of opinion and a movement, so to say, that we must do something urgent to fix Nigeria.